right now, coming to you live from New York. We invite you to comment, say hello, and join us as again, we welcome our very special guest to the show. There she is. Welcome, Jennifer Jones, to the Jim Masters Show. Jennifer, welcome to the show. It's a privilege and a pleasure to have you here today.
Hi, Jim. Thank you so much for having me on tonight.
You are very welcome. Again, your story is so inspiring, it's so moving, but also so invigorating too. You are an extraordinary dancer and actress. You are full of vim and vigor and energy and passion, and your story truly is one of resilience, of can-do spirit, of taking lemons and turning them into lemonade, of not allowing anything to get in your way, whether it is society, whether it is cancer, no matter what it is, you have this spirit within to be able to take these things, meet them head on, and make the best of them. We'll talk about the story. We'll talk about all the different nuances, but welcome to the show. And where does that inspiration, that inner strength, that resilience come from within you, Jennifer?
I believe that it is in every single one of us, no matter what challenges may come. I think that the human spirit is so resilient. Um, their challenges are just opportunities for growth, opportunities to learn, opportunities for us all to shine our gift brighter to the world. I believe that we all have a footprint, a legacy to leave. And for me, that's where my inner resilience, my oomph comes from to share things and thoughts, actions to the world.
That's exactly what they are. And you are very, again, inspiring and empowering. People gravitate to you, Jennifer, because of not only your story, but just this wonderful way that you have about you. There's a certain joy that exudes from your personality, which I think is very, very special. And not only you are multi-talented, but and gifted, but you also wear your heart on your sleeve and you have this opportunity to share it artfully in the arts, but also as a brilliant author and being so open in telling your story, which I think is absolutely amazing. And as our viewers, which we welcome, who are watching live from all around the world right now on the Jim Masters Show, and they have the opportunity to meet our very special guest, Jennifer Jones, I have to tell you, truly, she is a pioneer in advocacy, a pioneering figure in dance, and truly in life and in the world of entertainment, a talent who made history as the very first African-American Radio City Music Hall Rockette. And it wasn't that she just knocked on doors and they said, come on in, welcome. There was a whole scenario and all different walls and challenges that she had to meet to be able to have that grand opportunity that she seized and then, of course, reveled in along the way. And with her exceptional dancing skills and her infectious passion, as I'm saying, for the performing arts, Jennifer has truly captivated audiences while reshaping the industry landscape. And her historic debut as a Rockette during the halftime show at one of the Super Bowls too. And of course, how apropos that we're doing this now, it mesmerized viewers with unmatched skill, precision, and grace, serving as a beacon for the urgent need for authentic representation and entertainment. And throughout our very special guest's illustrious career, Jennifer's enchanting stage presence has won the hearts and audiences everywhere, earning admiration from fans and peers alike. And in addition to her extraordinary accomplishments in dance, which we could do a whole mini series just on that, folks, she's also a published author, as I mentioned, both of her children's book, which we're going to show in just a moment, her beautiful memoir, which is very inspiring, as well as a talented doll maker, showcasing her creativity and storytelling ability. I'll show you that in just a second as well. And she's also a passionate advocate for colorectal cancer awareness. She's a survivor herself, dedicated to fostering inclusive conversations around this critical health issue. So, a lot to share with everybody here on our show today. And again, Jennifer is truly an extraordinary. I love this photo. These photos are courtesy of our very special guest. Again, take a look at this, folks. She is absolutely extraordinary, very, very talented. And all of these photos have a wonderful story unto themselves, as does this with the world famous and beloved Radio City Rockettes. And of course, if you just saw them recently on television, of course, during the holidays and the Christmas Spectacular, she, of course, over the years has had opportunities to be a part of that as well. Uh, Jennifer, the desire to take the dance and the experiences in dance and want to then pursue becoming a Rockette with the world famous Radio City Rockettes. When did that interest and that inspiration on your life's journey sort of come your way? How did that story go?
I knew at a very young age, at 9 or 10 years old, that I wanted to dance. My fourth grade teacher came into the classroom one day. He said, "We're doing an end of year recital, and the theme is the 1940s, and I need 6 people to be a lead." And he picked me, one of the shyest, quietest girls in class, to be one of the leads. And that required me to go to rehearsal before school, stay after school. And the day of the performance, the curtain was down. I was standing on stage and I was so nervous. The curtain went up, the music started, and I felt like I was at home. It just felt so easy for me. And my parents were big, avid Broadway goers, and they went to see all the latest and greatest shows like Ben Vereen and Pippin and Jesus Christ Superstar. And when The Wiz came to Broadway, it was kid friendly with Stephanie Mills and Mabel King and Andre DeShields. They took me and my sister 5 times. And each time it became more solidified in my DNA that that's what I wanted to do on that stage. Everything from walking in the house and holding my ticket, getting my playbill, listening to the orchestra warm up and the overture start, and then being transported into Oz for 2 hours was just something that was just so magical to me. And we would wait backstage for the autographs. And I remember driving home through the Lincoln Tunnel, staring at the playbills, thinking that that's what I want to do with my life. Fast forward 10 years later, I'm studying in New York, waiting for my big Broadway break. There was a backstage publication that would come out every week with a list of auditions for Broadway, off Broadway, music videos. And the Rockettes had an audition placed in there. And I went by it. I didn't think anything about it. And my friend said, "Jennifer, the Rockettes are having an audition. You would make a perfect Rockette. You should really go." I did not know the history of the Rockettes. I didn't know who the Rockettes were. I didn't know what precision dancing was. And I went to the audition purely to get better at auditioning. I was very green in the business, very nervous, very intimidated at auditions. So I went to get better.
That is a fantastic story. So, as you tried to work to get better, what were some of those trajectory moments that sort of advanced things for you? Were there some doors that were opening along the way?
I did a few music videos here and there. I did a Simply Red music video and LL Cool J, but the Rockette audition and the Rockette job was my first major job in New York City.
Wow. And what was that audition like? I mean, were you
Mm.
nervous? You must have gone through, again, hours and days of practice. What was that? What was going, on inside you? Sure, you had the butterflies, which are a good thing. It means you're passionate about it. But what was that process like for you, Jennifer?
I woke up the morning of the audition and I decided to go just to get rid of all the butterflies and the nerves and the intimidation. The audition started at 10. I got to Radio City at 10 o'clock and Radio City was draped with the most beautiful ladies I had ever seen. They knew how to do their hair, their makeup, they knew what leotards to wear. And I got at the end of the line and I said, they are never going to pick me. And I didn't see another black dancer on the line either. And I thought about leaving a few times. And just as I was about to step off the line and take my favorite jazz class, Frank Hatchett, at Broadway Dance, my inner voice pushed me back into the line and said, stay. I stayed on the line and they took us up into a small rehearsal hall in groups of about 15 or 20 ladies where we would stretch out and warm up and again, nerves sinking in, very intimidated. I thought everyone was a better dancer than me. The stage manager came in and asked everyone to line up and we had to fill out a comp card with basic information, name, height, address. And he said, have your comp card ready, your picture and resume in hand, and your tap shoes in hand. He called my name. I got in line with my comp card. I did not have my picture and resume, and I did not have my tap shoes. So this was a good thing for me to learn how to, be prepared for auditions. We were taken into the large rehearsal hall. The first thing was a height requirement. If you did not make the height requirement, you were not even allowed to dance. I made the height requirement. I put on my character shoes and we learned a tap combination, a jazz combination. Along with casting for the Super Bowl 22 halftime show, they were also casting for the Cheetah Rivera Can Can tour. So we had to show off our can can kicks and jump splits, and of course the eye high iconic Rockette kicks. At the end of that audition, the stage manager came up to me, he tapped me on my shoulder, and he said, Jennifer, we're giving you a call back. Bring your picture and resume and bring your tap shoes. A few days later, I showed up back at the callback with my tap shoes, a picture and resume. There was one other black dancer there. I auditioned, I did my best. And as every dancer knows in New York City, once you audition, leave that in the room and go out and continue about your business because you don't want to dwell about if you don't get it.
Exactly right. You do
Yeah.
it, you've done it, and then move about the day. And then if the
Yeah.
phone rings,
Yes.
run and jump over the cat and answer that phone. Um, did you ever have anybody along the way who tried to talk you out of it, who said, Jennifer, this will never happen. Jennifer, this is just a dream. Jennifer, what are you doing? Were there people around who said, don't do it, it'll never work out? And were you able to take some of that energy and turn it around to have that resilience to say, I'm going to keep going forward because this is something I really want to do?
After graduating from high school, I felt like all of my friends knew exactly what they wanted to do. They were off to their four-year universities and, getting ready for their major. When I went to visit my guidance counselor in high school, I told her that I wanted to go to Glassboro State College and major in dance. And she sat me down and she told me that I was not ready for college. So I went to a county college, which was in the same town that I lived in, and I started studying dance there. And my mother started taking me into New York to find a school to really train in. If she said, if I'm going to be a dancer, you have to go to New York. About a year into that, I think my parents got kind of nervous, and my father stopped giving me money to go into the city and to take my classes. That I think they were like trying to be protective and trying to make me come back home to get a secure job. But I just had this feeling in me that I still needed to stay. And I knew that if I didn't stay, if I did not go forward in this dream, I would regret it. And so there was a point in time when it was just everything inside of me just making this work and going to auditions and trying to piece things together, getting a part-time job and just really working towards this dream that I had of dancing.
Truly, absolutely amazing. And did you realize as you were doing this, as you were sharing and growing as a person and as an artist, as a dancer, did you have an inkling as to the history that you were making along the way? That this was a first in many respects, and that it was groundbreaking, and that it would be inspiring, empowering for generations to come? Was all of that in your mind, or was it, I'm a dancer, I love this work, and I want to be a part of this company? Um, did you have any idea of how this would be looked at in such a glorious and monumental way, again, for other dancers, but just for society at large?
At 20 years old, I had no idea
Right.
uh, what I was getting into, what the doors that I would be opening. I had no idea. It would take me years to really learn the Rockette history and the legacy. And another reason why I really had no idea, and it would take years for me to learn, was because when I came into the Rockettes, there was monumental friction. There were some ladies that did not want me on the line. There were people in management who did not want me there. In particular, the woman who worked for head of PR. And right before my Super Bowl halftime show, she pulled me aside and she told me that nobody cares about me, nobody cares about my story. It's old news, and I'm lucky to be there. And I believed her. I thought, well, she works in public relations. She's the head of, Radio City PR. Maybe nobody cares. Maybe I thought it was a big deal, but I guess it's not. So it was like peeling back layers of an onion to really know that I had opened the doors for Black women to be able to call themselves Radio City Music Hall Rockettes.
Absolutely beautiful. And the fact that you did not, and it's great piece of advice and information for anybody that's, whether they're in these industries that we're in, whether it's, dance and acting and television and film and stage, or anything where you're out there and putting yourself out there, or even just in daily life. Don't always listen to the negative naysayers. Believe in you and your talent and your heart and what your gut is telling you, which you have
Mhm.
done and have continued to do throughout your life, which is so incredibly inspiring. Not only, again, are you a breathtaking talent, but also, again, your story does resonate with so many people, and they can pull elements from it in their everyday lives. They don't have to be a Rockette in order to
Yes.
plug into that kind of a story, because what you describe happens in everyday life for people, no matter what they do, which I think, again, is another reason why your story resonates so beautifully with everybody. As a matter of fact, jumping ahead a little bit, but I thought that this was wonderful. We dug this up again. These are courtesy of Jennifer. Not only are you the first African American Radio City music called Rockette, but you also have had opportunities to converse and perform with the very first Asian Rockette as well. How amazing is that? This is a wonderful photo of the two of you. Look
Thank
at those
you.
smiles.
Thank you. Yes, that is Setsuko Marahashi. She is the first Asian Rockette. She came onto the line in 1985, and she is just a joy, a wonder. When I came onto the line in 1987, she walked up to me in the rehearsal hall. She said, "I am the first Asian Rockette. You are the first Black Rockette." And I think she wanted for me at that young age to know the monumental shift that we were making in this institution. And she is just a wonderful person.
So a lot of times through the years, people, when they have thought of the Rockettes, they think of this sort of, it's homogenized. It's so, or prior, it was sort of homogenized. Every one sort of looked alike. All the movements were exact and everything like that. Did you come up against some of that as well? Was there this, well, you need to blend in, you need to change anything, do anything, or were you able to be you still within the format of what a Rockette actually is and some of the mechanics of being a Rockette?
Um, well, like I said, with the change in the institution, there was resistance. Um, I went into it with, and I leaned into the ladies who were ready for the line to be integrated and wanted me to be the best Rockette possible, and taught me the language, taught me the technique, taught me how to do the eye high kicks. I leaned into those ladies because I wanted to dance on a grand stage my entire life. And no one was allowed to take my dream away from me, whether it was dancing under those bright lights and the lashes and the lipsticks in front of the landmark Radio City Music Hall 6,000 seat theater. That was my dream come true. And no one is allowed to take anyone's dream away in that manner. And I also just want to let everyone know that even though I was stepping out onto this great stage, there was still some fear. I was in uncomfortable situations. Whenever there is change, you're not going to be comfortable. There is a place of discomfort to get to the next level of progression. So you don't want to stay in your comfort zone too long because there's no growth there.
That's a good way to look at it. That's absolutely a terrific way to look at it because if you do fall into the comfort zone, there's ease and comfort and things are familiar, but you don't grow as an artist or as a person. And I think what's so great is the fact that you're so open and real and honest about your story, which is very inspiring as well. We dug up this fabulous photo. Tell us about this one, which I know means the world to you.
That is my very first Christmas show. That was my Christmas in New York costume. And that picture was actually taken on the Radio City Music Hall stage. And that's me, a glowing 20-year-old, just ready to take on my tenure as a Rockette.
That is so fantastic. Again, a very, very special photo. And we've got some more here too.
Yes, that was, I was on tour in those days, and that was our opening costume with feathers. And that show was actually choreographed by Maurice Hines and Joe Layton. And the star of that show was Susan Anton. And that was
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of fun. It was a great way to see the country and get paid to do what I love to do.
To do what you love to do. Look at that shot too.
Yes, that those were used for promos for the playbills for Radio City for the Christmas show.
So many wonderful, wonderful moments.
Yes.
Look at that. These are
The
courtesy
rag,
of Jennifer.
yes, that's the rag doll costume, which is still alive and well to this day in the Christmas show. Um, and that's a little girl's wish of having a rag doll. And Santa's uh, doll making uh, portion over floods with making 36 rag dolls.
Wow. Speaking, and this is a fantastic segue for our viewers, and we welcome everybody who's joining us. Jennifer Jones is here. She's an extraordinary dancer, award-winning actress as well. She's done commercial work. She's been on the great stages. She's tremendous at what she does. She's very inspiring. She's also a colorectal cancer awareness advocate. We'll talk about that. We're celebrating Black History Month and Women's History Month and so much more that's happening. But she's very, very inspiring, and her story is magical to the point where she has even shared a book, Becoming. What a great positive title, Becoming Spectacular, the rhythm of resilience from the first African American Rockette, Jennifer Jones. Tell us about the title, which is fantastic. There is again another image of you that's glorious. And what do you hope readers are left with when they read this amazing memoir? And congratulations on it, Jennifer.
Thank you. Um, I named it Becoming Spectacular, the Rhythm of Resilience, because I believe that all of us are becoming spectacular. We are all precious gems on this earth, and each challenge that comes to us is merely an obstacle to create change, for us to learn and for us to grow and to make our gems shine even brighter on our own unique stage. And even though it looks like we are all doing the exact same thing, our footprint, our legacy is very unique and only onto us. And I encourage everyone to have their own special gift shine through, because if it doesn't, not only does that person lose, but we as a community lose that gift. So I don't believe in competition. I believe that we all are here and we all need each other's gifts.
You know, we do. Everybody is a piece of the puzzle.
Yes.
And I'm a big believer in that. I always say there's enough pie to be sliced up for all of us. There's a reason
Yeah.
why God put all of us here, because there's different things that we offer that make the earth spin on its axis so much smoother. And when you're open to that and when you allow it to flow in, it's extraordinary because it enriches your life, right?
Oh, absolutely. You said that so beautifully. We each have our own uniqueness that we all need so much. Yes, Jim, 100%.
You know, there's also some other beautiful shots courtesy of wonderful Jennifer Jones. I mean, tell us about this one.
This is my favorite costume. This is a Bob Mackie original. We did this in this costume. We danced to Dancing in Diamonds, and what I loved is that Bob also has these beads on the costume, which included in to be part of the music.
Mm.
So you have 36 women on stage making all of these beautiful bead sounds. It was a 12-minute number choreographed by Violet Holmes and over 300 kicks.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what is it like after the 300 kicks?
Luckily, that was at the end of the show, so we could rest after that.
To run right to the massage therapist or to
Yes,
the heated swimming pool or
yes. The
or some,
cryotherapy unit.
yes, more wonderful photos here.
Yes, that was our Bolero number, which was also done on tour, and that was a lovely number choreographed by Joe Layton.
That is fantastic. Did you ever, speaking of Bob Mackie, did you ever see the episode of Carol Burnett, the famous episode where she was doing, you know, sort of the Gone with the Wind, and he makes
Yes,
her outfit out of the curtain rod and
yes. I actually watched his documentary, which I found fascinating.
oh yeah,
Yes, I
really
highly recommend it.
true, another true icon. This is a great shot too, more recent.
Yes, this is a more recent photo from Brian Thomas. I just had headshots done with him, and he was a really great photographer to, give ideas and
Yeah,
photograph me in new and innovative ways.
really fantastic. This is another wonderful one.
Yes, that was the fan number that was done on tour. And the plume that I'm holding actually fans out into a fan, which was a great visual from the stage.
That's incredible. Really.
Yes.
Again, all these stories that you have and all of these. You know, this scene here is one of the classic scenes for the Rockettes. The precision involved in being able to do that and then one by one all falling on each other and leaning like dominoes. That's that is one of the most famous, especially of course during the holidays, numbers. What was it like doing that?
Yes, that has been a classic for at the Radio City Music Hall Spectacular since they opened in 1932. The Rockettes opened at Radio City in 1932, and it's the Parade of the Wooden Soldiers. And that is actually one of the numbers that is first learned going into the Christmas season. We all stand shoulder to shoulder, and what we do is called guiding. And we guide to the next girl over, not to the girl next to us, but one girl over to stay in that precision line. And we actually do the fall in groups, in sections, because that is the hardest thing to do in the show, and that is where most of the ladies get injured. So it's taken apart in smaller groups. It's not done as a full line, and there's the technique of going back straight. You can't bend in any way whatsoever, and it's really an iconic showpiece for the Christmas show, and people love it.
They really, really do. They still do today. Have you
Yeah.
been back to see the shows and the progression of the shows and new things that get added and changes made along the way?
Yeah, so I'm part of the Rockette of Color alumni, and Radio City usually gives tickets. But this past year was the 100th year anniversary for the Radio City Music Hall Rockette.
That's
So,
right.
yes, so there were over 700 former Rockettes that Radio City hosted us to come in, and we all got a chance to mingle together and meet some of the current Rockettes, and then also see the show. So yes, I love going seeing the show every year, as well as the Rockefeller Christmas tree.
Mm,
Brings back so many
beautiful.
beautiful memories.
You mentioned this wonderful group. Tell us about this. That's fantastic.
Yes, the Rockettes of Color alumni was founded by two Asian Rockettes, Sally Hong and Lainey Sakakura, in 2001. And their idea was just to get the ladies together on the line to figure out our own history. I believe I was the only Black woman for about 4 or 5 years before another one came onto the line, and just a safe place for us to share our stories.
Also too, people don't realize you were talking a little bit about that audition process. It really is intense, right? For the Rockettes to be, because, they only select a certain number. It's almost like trying to get into an Ivy League school in a way, only just a certain amount get in. And the physical demands and the competitive nature that exists as well, right?
Yeah, to be a Rockette, you definitely have to have the physicality for it. The current Rockettes during the Christmas show do up to 4 shows a day. The show is an hour and a half long, so you definitely have to have that physicality for it, the mentality for it, and to stay in the precision, of course, not kicking too high or too low. But I think that all the women on the line still have a love of dancing, and to be a Rockette, to be able to say that you're a Rockette is something that is not taken lightly.
There you are with the gang. Another beautiful, beautiful shot. You also, even before this fabulous memoir, Becoming Spectacular, you wrote a children's book, and you've even gone to, I think, maybe schools or libraries to read the book to kids. Um, Tell us about On the Line, this wonderful book for the kids.
I wrote On the Line my story of becoming the first African American Rockette, because I knew at such a young age that I wanted to dance on stage. That if there was another child out there who knew what they wanted to do, whether it was becoming a soccer player or an astronaut or a chef, that they can dream big and follow their passion. And what I love about this book is the last page, which I hope fosters a conversation between the parent and child to really know what does that child love to do most in the world. And hopefully the parent or caregiver or teacher can nurture that gift and make that come to light.
Very beautiful. And what has been the reaction? I imagine, when the kids have read this, and I know you've read it to kids as well, which is terrific. It's Got to be when you see the smiles on their faces. It's got to be something makes your heart flutter a little bit, doesn't it, Jennifer?
I love doing school readings. I love hearing their reaction. I love hearing what they want to do in life. I love talking to them about which theme they love most in the book. And sometimes it's something that I never would even think a child would pick up on, but just the way their minds work and the way their eyes brighten up. And I even kind of show them like a little Rockette bevel or a Rockette tick, and it is just amazing.
Probably inspiring some others who are, just coming up the ranks or dreaming of wanting to be a dancer or be, in the arts, seeing you and then, going to the show and saying, wow, she was a part of that too. And just being inspired by that, which is something very, very special. Love this shot too. Well, both shots, the headshot, but also the one on the right.
Yes, thank you. And to be honest with you, I don't know where that came from.
Isn't that
Yeah,
fantastic?
that is amazing.
Isn't that
Yes,
yeah, that's a great one. That was sent to us and
really.
yeah, I love it too. You're
I've
right.
never seen that.
See?
Wow.
See what happens when you're a guest on the Jim Masters show? You're pleasantly surprised. Even the guest is surprised, which I think is fantastic.
Wow. Yes, thank you for sharing that with me.
And this too. The photo on the left, see it next to your Becoming Spectacular, the black and white photo. That's
Yes.
a little behind the scenes there too, huh?
Yes, that was in the Rockette dressing room, and that was for Rocking Around the Christmas Tree, and that was an opening Rockette number. And a little backstory on this costume was that my tights did not match my skin tone.
Ah.
And I went up to the dresser, yeah, maybe 20 minutes before the show, and I asked, for skin tone tights. And I didn't necessarily mean at that moment. I meant, maybe a few shows, couple days. And she yelled at me and she told me that that is the costume. Nobody is changing these tights. If you don't like it, you can leave. And so much so that her voice was getting louder and louder. Again, I'm a 20-year-old. I just want to do my show. I just thought maybe I'd ask for some skin tone tights. And by the time I got dressed and got onto the elevator to go down to the stage, she was still yelling full out. So they did make progress. Now there are ladies on the line who are put together 100% skin tone tights, matching shoes. The bodice matches their skin tone. And I'm happy to say every girl feels 100% put together.
That is so beautiful. Speaking of put together, which you definitely, this is a sensational
Thank
cover
you.
shot. Really, really is. Um, what obviously you had to follow a certain diet and physical regimen, lots of sleep and don't eat this and don't do that. And what was the rigor in terms of the routine of staying fit and healthy so you can take on the demands of being a Rockette? And what are some of the things that you do today to maintain overall mind, body, and spirit health for you, Jennifer?
I think um, during my Rockette days, everyone took care of themselves the way they did. Personally, we were at that time given a weight range. So before each production, we had a weigh in and we had to weigh in between that range. Um, so for me, I was becoming vegetarian at the time. I also owned an aerobic studio. I had an instructor who was giving me literature on beef and chicken and turkey and the effects on the body. So I was transitioning to vegetarianism, but I also had my aerobic studio. I love to work out even to this day. So that has always been my constant in life. And even now, I'm vegetarian over 35 years. I love to work out. I practice hot yoga. I'm a runner. I go to the gym. So that has been my constant taking care of myself.
That is fantastic. It's a great regimen. It's another more recent shot, which I think is fantastic. You you have a wonderful photographer and you take wonderful photos, Jennifer. These are from her
Thank
wonderful
you.
collection.
Thank you. That again is Brian Thomas, who is a very good photographer, especially for dancers. He really knows how to capture the light and the essence of a person.
There's an
And
where was
that,
this one
yes,
taken?
that was at the post office, the old post office in New York
Oh
City.
yeah.
Yes,
Wow.
and that was by Ben Essner, and he's another wonderful New York City photographer that really knew how to capture, capture me in that light.
That is fantastic. That is wonderful. Here's another. We showed this one too. That's a great.
Yes, and that was another photo shoot when I was a Rockette, and that was put on all the playbills and some, magazines that they had that went out to the public when they went to see the Christmas show.
In addition to all of this incredibleness, you also, I mentioned the dolls. Tell us about that.
Yes, I designed a dancing Jen doll, and that came out with my children's book. I wanted the children to have something tangible, a reminder that thoughts become things, dream big, never let go of what you want to pursue in life. And it was my hope that they could just carry Dancing Jen around and always remind themselves that they can do whatever they put their mind to. And you can find Dancing Jen at Walmart Marketplace.
Oh, it's there. Wow, that's
Yes,
fantastic. Congratulations on that.
thank you.
It's,
Thank you.
once you have a doll made of you or you're parodied on SNL, you've made it. I always say the third one is once you're a guest on the Jim Masters show too, but but
Absolutely.
but
Yes.
the SNL and the doll is fantastic. So you created the Dancing Jen doll, celebrating again representation and diversity in children's toys. What was it like designing it? How long did it take? And what was that process like? I'm sure there were lots of artist renderings, and it wasn't something that was just overnight because it's really beautifully
Yes.
done. What was that
Thank
process
you.
like?
Yes, I reached out to Mattel and Hasbro, and they just kind of said no, they were they weren't interested. But there was this woman in South Africa who has her own line of dolls, and she said she would love to help me. And so we worked together and picked out the costume. I picked out the Dancing Jen's eye makeup and how I wanted her hair and where her hat was to be situated. And if you notice, she still has her skin tone tights on. So there was everything that I wanted her to feel, Dancing Jen to feel put together. So every child knows that they can go out and be put together in any capacity that they feel comfortable in bringing their light out to the world.
Really beautiful, my friend. Absolutely beautiful. There's something else too that's beautiful that you're a part of as part of Black History Month. The Hollywood Museum, the fabulous Hollywood Museum. Uh, Donald Danigan and the entire team there, the old Max Factor building in Hollywood and Los Angeles. This joint is jumping, a celebration of Black entertainers from film, TV, and song. And you are actually a part of this. And not only are you a part of this, but you are celebrated and honored amongst other extraordinary legends, which I think is another fantastic thing. Tell us about this great honor that's happening at the Hollywood Museum that you're a part of as well. And congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Yes, this is such a blessing, and I think it's still kind of setting in. It still really
Yeah.
hasn't hit me all the way that I'm going to be a part of this incredible, this iconic legacy with Whitney Houston and Lena Horne and Muhammad Ali and Denzel Washington, that I'll have some personal artifacts being shown. And I just feel truly honored to be a part of it. I could not have even imagined that I would have been asked, but I just am over the moon that I can be celebrated along with all of these other influential people over the decades.
Hollywood Museum is really a gem of a place. I've always enjoyed what used to be called, being a television and radio broadcaster all these years. I always loved the Broadcasting Museum, which is now the Paley Museum, Center for Broadcasting and all. But the Hollywood Museum is something very special. I mean, they really celebrate old and new Hollywood, and they do it in a way that's really breathtaking. And again, it's an honor to be a part of that. Congratulations. And
Thank
you,
you.
you know, you have been a part of so many incredible things in your life that are part of giving back, giving joy, putting smiles on people's faces, taking them away from their troubles and trials and tribulations. There are many global, there are many national, there are many in people's homes and in their lives. One of the things that you've been very open about is even your own health and the fact that you had dealt with colorectal cancer and that you're a survivor and that you are an advocate telling folks make sure they get screened because as we've seen on the news lately that has dropped down the screenings to 45 for everybody. Now I'll reveal a little something. I've gone ever since I was 27. I've gone. I had an uncle who was not a blood relative, but he developed colon cancer, and I saw, what he went through, and then, he didn't survive. And this was way back. And so I said, you know what? I think I'm going to just go and get checked, even though, again, it wasn't a blood relative, I tend to be proactive with my health anyway, which I think is a good thing. Just like, you're proactive when you hear a tick in your engine in your car, you bring that in. Well, bring yourself in too. And you're a big advocate of that. Tell us about your story. And I know you've been very open about when you first heard, you went for, a screening and they told you what was happening and what the plan was going to be from there.
Yes. Well, I'm glad you're so open about telling about your story, and I'm sorry about your uncle and family history. You must know your family history. When I was diagnosed, I had just turned 50. At that time, the routine colonoscopy was at age 50. And I knew something was off. I thought, oh, it's a dairy allergy. I'm allergic to gluten now. Oh, I'm 50. I went to my doctor. I asked if I could be seen a little bit sooner because I knew something was off. She said, oh, you're healthy. Few weeks later, I went in for my colonoscopy. I was coming out of anesthesia, sipping my orange juice. She came into the room and she said, you have cancer and it looks like you have about 5 years to live. And not only did that shake my world, I was ashamed. I was embarrassed. I had been vegetarian at that point over 25 years, active every day, a professional dancer. I knew my body, and I didn't tell my family for a month. And I went to MRIs and CAT scans and lab work in secret for a month. When I did finally tell my family, I immediately changed doctors. I was not comfortable with the initial surgeon that I saw. I went to Memorial Sloan Kettering. And upon meeting my almost all female surgical team and oncology team, I felt halfway healed. And I feel that it's so important that anyone who is diagnosed with any kind of disease, they have to feel 100% comfortable with their healthcare practitioner. They should be able to sit down and ask any questions. There's no time limit, that their care is 100% important. I did 4 rounds of chemo. My oncologist and surgeon came in for another look to see if the chemotherapy was even working. They both came in and their jaw dropped and they said, Jennifer, what are you doing? And they said the tissue looks almost clean, like you can't even tell where the cancer was. You can only see where the tumor is because they put a tattoo marker there. And during those months of chemo, I really took a hard look at my life and I let some situations go. I had to turn my back on. I let some toxic relationships that I was hanging on to because I wanted them to like me or whatever. I turned my back and I let that go. And I really honed in on what is my footprint here in life? What is my legacy? What do I want to leave on this earth? And I really changed my thought process around. I did 4 more rounds of chemo. I had surgery at the end of 2018, and January 2019, I was deemed cancer free.
That is a beautiful story, and that is we're so very, very happy, and you feel good. You're healthy now, and you have the energy. Going through something like that, where it's so personal. What are some things that you've learned about yourself? You've shared so many stories where people told you, no, not now. No, we're not interested. No, that's not going to happen. No, don't even try it. And now this is something that comes your way that seems even larger than yourself and monumental. And can you even tackle this? And how can you work through this? Um, what are some things with all this resilience and all these things you've done thus far in your life when that came down the pike for you? Um, what did you learn from that? What did Jennifer learn about herself? And how did it change you in any way? A lot of people will say things like, oh, well, I notice rainbows more and sunsets more, and I walk along the ocean and I notice nature more, things of that nature, the smell of roses and a cup of coffee and all. What are some of the things for you experiencing that situation that have stuck with you and that you've learned about yourself?
I, one major thing that I did learn about myself was the same thing when I was on the Rockette audition line, when my inner voice told me to stay. And I listened to my inner voice. And even though that doctor gave me 5 years to live, I did work for those four rounds of chemo of really thinking, what is happening? What I don't understand, but I was stressed out to a 10, and I really had to hone things back and really understand I can't let things get to me. And that's one of the major things that I take with me. Things that I think I would have gotten upset about in my younger years. I don't let that affect me anymore. Is it going to affect me? Is it going to affect my family in a certain way? And I really had to like hone in and hone down on some of those things. And yeah, I do notice in the springtime when it's not winter, the birds chirping in the morning. That's one of the things that I love. One of the winter things I love is smelling a fresh cup of brewed cappuccino. There are little, things here and there, and sometimes they're random and they come up. Um, every so often, like when my son says, I love you, mom, I'm still here and I can still hear that. And it doesn't have to be a daily reminder, but as long as it always chimes in, it can bring me back into what that stillness is and what it means not to get so, harried in life, which can sometimes take us away in today's day and age. Those little things can always bring you back and be still and be centered and keep calm.
Because stress is related to cancer. They have
Yes.
found there's, not just environment and foods and family history, but stress is something that can take something that's brewing and just make it take off from there. So you learn to breathe and not maybe let all the little things bother you, and to probably even go easier on yourself, right?
Absolutely, yes. Um, Not to take anything personally, and just kind of breathe through life, and what's important will always, you'll always take care of, and what's not, just let it go.
Just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Exactly right. It's so vitally important to do that on so many different levels, and you've done that and continue to do that in a beautiful, beautiful way. What was it like when you were, and this is so topical for now, performing at the Super Bowl? Not only are you a Rockette, but you're now at the Super Bowl. I mean, a couple of pinch me moments, I'm sure, for you, Jennifer, huh?
Oh my goodness. So that was a very surreal moment. Not only were we performing in a football stadium, it was also being televised. And I remember when they called the half-hour call, half hour to get ready before performance. Then they called the 15-minute call. And between all the timeouts and the flags, and it just like kept going longer and longer. And so by that time I was like, oh, I just want to do it. Um, I remember stepping onto the field, being so nervous. The music started. I ran out to my place on the stage. And again, it was like my fourth grade recital. I felt like I was at home. It was in 1988. There were 44 Rockettes for 88 legs, 88 pianos on the field because a piano has 88 keys. And the piano players were just jiving on the pianos. And we were all just having such a wonderful time. And then it came to the final kick line. And there I was out on the field, the first Black woman to make history, to be a Rockette in a kick line. And it was just simply amazing. And I was so thankful that my parents and my sister had flown to San Diego just to be with me in spirit. They weren't at the game, but that was a huge, thing that they came for me to be there.
A Rockette, Super Bowl, beautiful San Diego, and the family around. Doesn't get
Yes.
any better, right? It doesn't get any
Mm.
better than that. It's that's one of many of the memorable moments in your illustrious career. Do you teach? Do you mentor others? Do you teach dance? Do you teach and share your craft with others?
I don't teach dance. For me, I just loved to perform. I did not have the teacher studio bug, so to speak, but I am a mentor. I do love to talk to children and other, young dancers who want to flourish in the industry. And I do hope that I can inspire more and more dancers and just children, young adults in life to go after their passion.
Just want to let folks know there is her fabulous website as well for everything Rocket Jen. I love that. Rocket and Rockette. Get it, folks? Uh, the books, again, are amazing on the line. Make sure you get that. Are these also on Amazon and Barnes& and Noble? All the books are.
Yes, yes.
So, so this is the memoir, folks. Make sure you get it. As really, we just scratched the surface, and this is the children's book. And of course, the dolls. Again, you said they can find the doll where?
Walmart Marketplace, or they can go to my website. There's a link to Walmart Marketplace as well.
So if you go to rockettejen.com, there you go, folks. You'll find out about all the amazing things Jennifer Jones. I just want to let our audience know as well, our viewers, and thanks to everybody who's watching. And they've been commenting in the comment section as well, sending you their love, and they're mesmerized by this story. Jennifer's commitment to representation extended beyond the Rockettes. In 1989, she became the first African American Miss Morris County pageant queen in her hometown of New Jersey. Her illustrious career includes performing in the ensemble of the Tony Award winning Broadway revival of 42nd Street in 2001, where she was one of just three African American women in the cast, and the production earned the Tony Award for Best Revival of a musical. In addition to her stage work, Jennifer has appeared in various commercials for well-known brands, including Nordstrom Rack, which is a great place for bargains. I got a couple of shirts out of there. Delta Airlines, 1-800-Flowers, and TransUnion. She's also showcased her talent in a lead role in the short film Ripple, further demonstrating her versatility as an actress. 2016, her legacy of defiance and inspiration was commemorated with a world premiere tribute hosted by the Harlem School of the Arts, honoring her exceptional talent and resilience. This is just some of the things that happen in the day and life of Jennifer Jones. What are some of those continued blessings in your life that keep you going, keep you inspiring, keep you creative and sharing with all of us, Jennifer?
Well, I love talking with people like you, Jim, about my legacy, hoping to inspire others. I do hope to write a young adult, a middle grade book, and really aim towards like the sixth through ninth grades to, keep going, follow your dream, follow your passion. I'd love to see becoming spectacular in a production, TV series or a movie, and I'd love to see On the Line as a cartoon for young children to watch at Kick Line and to dance around their living rooms. There's so many things that I would love to have happen, but I would just love to inspire people to always, always live life without regret.
Beautifully said, my friend. Absolutely beautifully said. And I second that emotion with our famous Jim Masters show, Love and Levity, Levity, as we were talking about earlier. But you're into that, right? Levity?
Yes, I love it. Levity.
Well, now you're a Levity on the Jim Masters show. The viewers have already said that. So you are definitely a Levity. And I knew that even before you joined us. You just have that real heart and that spirit. And there's just a certain effervescence about your certain glow and joy that even when because I've been very aware of you and I have followed you and I've been a fan and admirer of your incredible work. And I think it is, again, very uplifting. And it's a story that people need to hear no matter where they are in life, because it's one that I think will resonate with people. And it's really beautiful. And I just want to remind people, too, of all these amazing things. The Hollywood Museum, again, in Los Angeles, California, doing a fantastic Black History Month celebration. This joint is jump into celebration of Black entertainers for film, TV, and song. They are celebrating our illustrious guest, the one and only Jennifer Jones, there as well. Don't forget, there's the doll and there's the children's book and her beautiful memoir, Becoming Spectacular. I think it should also say Born Spectacular.
Oh, thank you.
She became more spectacular, but I think Born, but she's humble. She's not going to write Born Spectacular. Becoming, she takes you on her journey in that incredible memoir. You really are truly amazing. Jennifer, it was an honor and a privilege and a pleasure getting a chance to share your story and to welcome you to the Jim Masters show. And I truly hope you enjoyed the time with me as much as I absolutely have with you.
Oh, very much. I really enjoyed speaking with you. Thank you so much for having me on.
You're very welcome. Continued good health, continued blessing to you and yours. And I always tell all the guests that we keep the porch light on for them. So you're welcome back anytime, my friend, to stop
Thank
by and
you.
say hello. Keep us abreast of all the beautiful things you're doing. And we look forward to hearing more from you. So thanks for the generosity of time. It was truly a blessing having you here with us on the show.
Thank you, Jen.
You're very welcome. I just want to give you some levity here from our viewers. Maureen is in Arizona. These are some of our real faithful. You are such a beautiful human, Jennifer, in every way. This has been an inspiration, inspiring conversation, and I have learned from you. Thank you so much for being Jim's special guest this evening. Hashtag Levity. Maureen is a nurse, actually, in Arizona. So she plugged right into this conversation. And Kathleen, watching in New York City, thanks for being here, Jennifer. Great conversation. Wishing you continued success and good health, and take care. Just some of the comments coming in live here from our viewers. So rest easy, sleep well, and be well. And thanks for everything you've done to put joy in our lives and continue to do. And I look forward to chatting again real soon, Jennifer. You be well, okay?
Thank you. You too, Jim.
Take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
The incredible Jennifer Jones here on the Jim Masters Show. That was an extraordinary conversation. Again, the first African-American Rockette, Radio City Rockette. But the story, again, goes well beyond that. Very open about being a cancer awareness advocate. One of the great things I think I mentioned too online in my career of the many hats I've worn on television and radio is hosting and producing an award-winning public affairs TV series that I did for several years for the American Cancer Society. It was called Cancer Awareness. We won several awards on that, but I got a chance to meet and interview not only people who are on the front lines of trying to find cures for cancer and working with people who are dealing with cancer, but also meeting children with cancer and others who are dealing with various stages of cancer. And that was really breathtaking. So her story is one of survival, one of resilience, one of hope. And she wants everybody to go get screened, especially colorectal cancer, which again is on the rise, even with the younger generation. So, and now they've lowered it to age 45, male and female. RocketteJen.com is her website. Again, we'll show you real quick. The doll, isn't that cool? She designed this fantastic doll. And of course, she's got the children's book. Wouldn't it be cool if this did become an animated series? Absolutely. And of course, there is her phenomenal memoir, Becoming Spectacular, The Rhythm of Resilience, from the first African-American Rockette, Jennifer Jones. She's truly spectacular. And it was a blessing having her here on the Jim Masters Show series. Thank you for being here as well, everybody. Maureen adds in here because we are coming at you live. So some comments coming in here live from our studios. Wow, just wow. I knew this would be a great episode, but I am honestly blown away. Thank you, Jim, for having Jennifer in Levity Hall. The pleasure is all mine. Thanks to everybody for all these wonderful comments. Don't forget to comment below as well. And if you enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, where if you joined us late, you can see this whole episode in full again. And there are hundreds and hundreds of episodes with celebrity friends and guests who've joined us here on JMS to share their stories in support of our series. Kathleen in New York City doing a nice aqua color super sticker. Thank you very much, Kathleen in New York. We appreciate your love and support of the Jim Masters Show series. Very kind of you to do that as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, one more time, we thank the one and only Jennifer Jones, brilliant actress, dancer, author, advocate, Rockette, and so much more. Imagine that, San Diego, Super Bowl, a Rockette, the family's around. That is a scripted Hallmark movie or a Disney movie. And she is really, truly amazing. This was really terrific, folks, and thank you so much. Come see us again. So many great episodes, so many great guests, all coming up here on the Jim Masters Show series. And again, if you enjoyed this, give us a thumbs up, make sure that you, have an opportunity to celebrate with us, because we have so many amazing guests that we want to share with all of you. And we thank you for your time this time till next time. As I always say here on the Jim Masters Show, don't forget to love one another. Don't forget to take care of one another. And don't forget to do the very same for yourself. It was great having you here. Hope you enjoyed the show. Drop a comment below and certainly let us know. Come see us again. Spread the word about the Jim Masters Show. We love having you guys here from all around the world. All right. Take care of one another. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for joining us, everybody. And cheers.